It's pretty simple. The Denver Broncos cannot trade down in the 2024 NFL draft. I see a common argument out there that if the Denver Broncos are unable to land one of the big four quarterbacks, that they should move down and try to take a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr. either in the second round or later in the first round. Now, on paper, yeah, that's a great idea, but we need to take a look at which teams are behind the Denver Broncos at the 12th overall pick and if they could potentially use a quarterback and sweep whoever the Denver Broncos might be targeting in a trade down situation from underneath their feet. So, the first threat that we need to think about here, let's just assume that all of the top four quarterbacks, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, are all off the board. So, what is left is Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. At 12, Denver could decide, all right, Bo Nix is our guy here. We are confident enough to take him at 12. Or they could say, we're not confident enough to take Bo Nix at 12. We don't think that he's worthy of that high of an investment. Let's trade down, try to acquire a second round pick, take an edge rusher or a tackle or somebody like that in the first round, and then acquire our quarterback in the second round. The problem is, right behind us at number 13 is the Las Vegas Raiders. Reports have heavily indicated the Raiders are interested in Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. If the Raiders were to take Penix Jr., then that would obviously leave the Denver Broncos in a tough spot where Bo Nix would be the only guy left on the board. Or let's say that the Raiders like Bo Nix and they're just not expecting him to be there because Denver is obviously the favorites to get him. In that scenario, if Bo Nix falls into the Raiders' lap at 13, they could take him just out of pure spite because that would be a massive disadvantage for the Denver Broncos and it would benefit them at the same time. I could very easily see it. That just feels like something the Raiders would do. Not every organization in the NFL would do it, but I wouldn't put it above a team like the Las Vegas Raiders. Then, right behind them is the New Orleans Saints, who have an interesting conundrum with Derek Carr. Are they going to move forward with him long term, or do they want to maybe establish a succession plan in the event that Carr plays poorly again or gets hurt, just doesn't live up to the investment that they put into him a couple of years ago? Then there's guys like the Seattle Seahawks, who currently have a quarterback room consisting of Geno Smith and Sam Howell. Yes, they traded for Howell as kind of an insurance policy, developmental pick, whatever you want to call him, but I view it in a very similar light as the Denver Broncos going up and getting Zach Wilson. That's a high upside backup quarterback, and it should in no way, shape, or form affect your draft plans. If the Seattle Seahawks like Bo Nix and want to keep him in the Pacific Northwest, then who knows? Maybe they could take him here because I would imagine that the Raiders aren't going to let Michael Penix Jr. fall to his former offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb in Seattle. But in the event that that happens, maybe Michael Penix won't have to move or get a new apartment or anything like that because he could remain in the city of Seattle in that scenario. Then there are other teams as well. The Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford's getting up there in age, and Les Snead, the Los Angeles Rams general manager, has a connection with Bo Nix. He played college football with Bo Nix's dad. So there's that personal connection there. Maybe the Rams want to bring in Bo Nix and develop him as the potential succession plan for an aging Matthew Stafford. So there are other teams in the first round that could be in a position to bring in Bo Nix if the Denver Broncos were to trade down. The Broncos would basically have to trade down and get ahead of teams like Seattle, the Rams. Maybe they could move back to pick 15 with Indianapolis if Indy wants to come up and get a Brock Bowers if he falls, or whoever else may fall that Indy wants to come up and get. That's the only trade destination that the Denver Broncos could safely trade to and basically guarantee that one of their quarterbacks is going to be there. If the rumors are true about Michael Penix Jr., then yeah, you could maybe trade down to 15 and still get Bo Nix, but In my opinion, there's just too much risk here, especially with a team like Seattle or the Rams, to maybe sweep that quarterback that Denver's targeting from under their feet. So, that for me is why I feel like trading down for a quarterback in the 2024 draft is a little bit too risky. If you feel like Bo Nix is your guy at 12 and you don't get one of your guys in the top four, then I feel like Bo Nix at 12 makes the most sense for the Denver Broncos. But I'm curious about how you guys feel about this Broncos country. Do you think that Bo Nix at 12 is too rich for your blood? Or do you feel like if the Denver Broncos think that Bo Nix can be the guy for the next 10, 15 years here in Denver, would you make that investment? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are two free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. We are getting really close to 3,000 subscribers, guys. We need just over 30 subs now, so please, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. I would really, really appreciate it. Also, we will be live for all 3 days of the 2024 NFL Draft from Thursday through Saturday, so please join in here on Broncos Syndicate for more informative and in-depth coverage of all 3 days of the 2024 Draft. All right, guys, and until next time, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.